Hey guys! So today I was reading the New Testament. My church has this whole study program for us to read the New Testament this year. And I was reading along in John 4, and I found some things that I wanted to share with you all. So I'm gonna read it up. But in John 4, this is when Jesus Christ was traveling and he sat down at the well with the woman from Samaria, and he was sitting there talking with her, and he started to talk with her about how he has that living water that would help all those who come by to never thirst again, right? And she's like, "What the heck? Like, what is this water you're talking about?" In verse 11, she's like, I want some of that, you know? And in verse 13 and 14, Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him as a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Sorry, I'm blind. um, but I just loved that scripture today. And it just hit me as I was reading that how many times do we in our lives look to other sources for that everlasting life, for that water to quench our thirst when it really doesn't do anything? So I know, like, in my own life that I have gone through like so many phases, so many ups and downs of like looking to Jesus Christ and then looking to other sources like the world for I guess like to fill that sense of thirst, I guess could be compared to like trying to find fulfillment and satisfaction with your life and trying to understand what it is that you're supposed to do with life and kind of like just going about from your day to day. um, I don't know if this is making any sense, but I guess like something that I was thinking of is that sometimes I've noticed in myself that I tend to either like go to other people to try to fill that thirst, that hole inside of me, or I'll go to like social media and or like try like this is kind of funny, but I like or like Pinterest, like trying to look at all these quotes about like having like how I can be like a boss woman and be all productive and like create this whole lifestyle and things like that, right? But I just little by little have realized that it's kind of like what Jesus says right here in verse 13, that whosoever drinketh of that water shall thirst again. Like, yes, that might make you happy for a second, or maybe like going out dancing or like doing fun things with friends or whatever it may be that you feel is like that happy thing for you. But if you notice that you do that and you just feel like you're like, okay, that was fun, that was cool, but you feel thirsty again, I guess, in a sense. Here's another example. Me and my sister this past summer, um, I had like this lifelong dream of going skydiving. I was like, I want to go skydiving so bad. Like, that's on my bucket list. It's going to be so cool and all this stuff, right? And so me and my sister plan out this whole thing to go skydiving for my birthday. And so we get there and it's all exciting and we gear all our everything up and we've been preparing for this for so long and we're all excited. And then, we get up there, we're in the plane, and it's crazy, and my sister's freaking out. And like we had a really good experience and we like jump out of the plane and it's like, woohoo, yeah, so fun. And it was really fun. But then afterwards, me and my sister were driving home and we're like, ah, that was it. We're like, it's over. It's like, oh, we did that. We went skydiving. Cool. Now what? And it's kind of like we really thought that like going skydiving was going to be this make or break moment where it was like our whole lives were changed or something, right? But we went and it was like, okay, cool. Now what? Like it felt like we were thirsty again, right? We needed something else again. But I guess that's just an example to illustrate that there's so many times that we go to these other sources seeking that thing that we think is gonna fill us. Maybe it's money, maybe it's pride, maybe it's like having success in school or accomplishments in life or having people recognize us or whatever it is, that we have all of these things that we think will fill us and provide that fulfilling life for us. But Jesus says, like, but if you drink of the water that I give you, you will never thirst ever again. And I was like, wow, like that is powerful. And but how do we do that, right? How do we take that water of Jesus Christ, so that we eventually have that well of water in us, and so that we don't even have to look to other sources anymore. When Christ is in us, we'll have that well that is forever there. He says springing up forever in everlasting life, and we won't have to look to those other sources. Um, but yeah, like I said, how the heck do we do that? One thing that I found in my manual, it's somewhere around here, was it talked about after we're born again, kind of like after we change our life around and decide to follow Jesus Christ, and change our heart and who we are, that's kind of when we can start to see that that Christ and his gospel and the things that he taught are then in our hearts. Um, and they're the things that will help us to continue to never thirst as we turn to Jesus Christ. Um, I guess one another thing that I was thinking of is that as we turn to Jesus Christ, as we rely on Him to meet our needs, and we go to Him every single day, that we will not feel that thirst. We won't feel that need to go to any of these other sources to seek that fulfillment in our lives because we'll have Jesus Christ. And like, I don't know if this is making any sense to any of you guys, but it makes sense to me. Like, that for me personally, as I have decided to kind of little by little try to put the world away. And obviously, I'm not perfect at that. Obviously, I still like feel that thirst sometimes and feel the need to go and seek validation or whatever it is from these other sources. But as I've tried little by little to, when I feel that thirst, when I feel that need to find fulfillment in my life as I turn to Jesus Christ and choose to turn to Him instead of turning to the world. That's when I have found the most fulfillment in life, especially as I have tried to serve Him and try to help other people. That is something that I feel has filled me. And, maybe it's different for you. Maybe there are different ways for each and every one of us to follow Jesus Christ. And I want to urge all of you to try to figure that out. Try to figure out that way that Jesus Christ would have you follow him. I know that he loves you individually, that he speaks to each of us in our individual ways, in the ways that we understand best. But I also know that he loves you, no matter what you're going through. Um, Instead of turning to the world or those outside sources, like I said, turn to Jesus Christ, and you really will start to find that hole in your heart is filled. That you'll find that fulfillment in life, and little by little, like life just becomes so beautiful and so happy. Um, but that's my challenge to all of you today: is to start little by little to find ways that you can turn to Jesus Christ instead of other sources. But I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.